A hard drive.
Yeah, I'm taking up the storage fast.
I got a portable hard drive over there. Little TIG.
What?
A little TIG. A little gigabyte.
That doesn't exist. Terabyte?
Terabyte. Little tear.
Gigabyte. Terabyte. Yeah. You call it Terry?
Yeah, I got a Terry over there.
Terry don't buy?
I got a Terry over there.
You know Tara's a name, right? Like I had one of my parents' friends' name was Tara. This is one of the weirdest names I'd ever heard, but
I've heard Tara before.
Oh. Well then you just call it.
I've heard all kinds of but I like
Tara
Terry
don't buy.
better. Oh, Terry. Oh, Terry's over there working overtime, you know what I mean? Little old timer. Huh?
What?
What?
Oh, none. What's wrong with the female name?
Oh, I like female too.
Well, is Giga like
Giga? No, Giga's the girl. That's Lady Gaga, baby.
Oh, okay.
So Gaga, oh Giga.
Gaga does bite.
Ooh. I see what you did there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Atypical.
What's up?
Podcast. What's up?
As the weeks go by, I just get a little bit more comfortable.
Yeah. The first episode, awkward.
Yeah, first episode, I'm pretty sure I sat up like this with my hands crossed.
Well, you were on that stool too, so I looked like
down.
I looked extremely short. Even though I don't know who's taller between the two of us, if it's me or you, I haven't ever.
That's how you know we're good friends, because we don't like that. That would be an ego thing. If like you knew exactly how many inches and centimeters taller you were.
I'm actually the tall one.
I'm the tall one by about 2.5 inches. So.
Yeah, I don't care.
No, we don't care.
Yeah, I don't care at all. But
I am tall.
Yeah. But regardless, that first episode, you were setting up way higher. It looked like I was like Hans Bulla. You know what I mean? Like,
why do you call him Hans Bulla? Is it Hans Zimmer mixed with Hans Bulla?
I like the Hans, I know.
Jandra?
Yeah, you got to mix it up, baby. It's like that clip I released the other day. I laughed so hard, but I feel like it's... Yeah, it was like the way we say things or whatever, and it was like my grandpa with the ERs and all that. I laughed hard, but I feel like only fans of the pod would actually appreciate that video, because it's more of an inside joke.
Yeah.
We provide you with a lot of
inside jokes.
Yeah, you have to. But that's the thing. Like, I feel like they're welcoming inside jokes.
Yeah.
Like, you hear us talking about it and you want to be in.
And you want to be a little bit more intrigued. You're like, where is it? This isn't funny, but I want to know what it's about.
But it kind of is,
yeah.
I feel like. It's kind of funny.
The way you say things, like that clip, was it that? The way you say names or the way you say things?
I just posted it last week.
I
think it's the way you say things. But we were talking about, because you were saying your grandma says Colbert.
Yeah, Colbert.
Instead of COVID.
I was like, what?
You got Colbert?
Funny ways to say things, yeah.
Yeah, that was it.
And that's literally, it's not that old of an episode, but it's just one of those things that no one else would talk about.
No. We don't do any clickbaity topics.
Wow.
Until now. Mr. Beast.
No, the C-Bum video was kind of...
That was a clickbait. That was a little clickbaity. He wrecked our podcast. He wasn't even on it.
He wasn't anywhere near it.
No.
He was probably back in Canada or LA.
I think he was...
Florida.
Wherever. But regardless. Yeah.
We tracked him down. Yeah.
One day we'll have guests on the podcast. We'll have
we talked about it. It could be soon. Could be sooner than later.
It could be.
It was sooner. We actually had a guest, and that video was archived for life. You would never want to see that video, not because of the content, but because of the fact that you couldn't hear it.
Yeah, there was no.
You could hear Shawn. Me and the guests were in the background.
I thought you couldn't hear anybody. Was it?
No, you had your mic perfect audio. My mic didn't work, so we couldn't hear me.
Okay.
No,
that's what
we figured that out long time ago.
You know, it's a learning process, like we've said all the time. It's a learning process, but eventually we're gonna have like famous guests.
Oh, I know.
Well, we'll have
See, Shawn's met famous people.
We'll have
famous
riff-raff on here. You know what I mean? Neon icon.
Let's get Coach Contra on here. They fit,
bruh.
Don't picture that.
What? Dude, it'd be so awesome. I'd love to have them in here.
I meant like just having the group behind the couch.
We'll
cut it.
We'd get we'd get a bigger space for that.
Yeah,
we'd open up
the whole room. Dude, imagine like people want to know that if this is a studio or not, but they have no clue. This looks like it could be in a studio.
This is a studio.
Yeah, this is a studio.
It is a studio. You start somewhere.
You have no clue what any of the rest of this place looks like. This could be the biggest room you've ever seen.
It could. This could just be like a warehouse, and it's just
that's the power of social media, though. Yeah, it's just false advertising, or
not,
or not at false advertising. I don't know. It's maybe all about your perception. Right, exactly. Man, I swear we bring up perception like every
episode. But no, the ability. Okay, so off camera we were talking about this. There's two thoughts floating in my mind. One, I got another Matthew McConaughey comparison on my other channel that I've been posting. I had posted a clip from the podcast, just a funny clip of us. I forget what we were talking about. It was a clip where I don't even really feel like I sounded like McConaughey in that clip. And I had posted on my channel like 3 weeks ago before I started posting my other content. And so now it's starting to get a little traction, and people were commenting on it. It was like, who's this Matthew McConaughey swag jacking fool? I was like, whoa. Ain't nobody jacking nothing. Like, what do you mean?
Oh.
I don't sound... I'm definitely not attempting.
The way you just said sound is like how Matthew would try to say it. Like, he would attempt to say it like that.
Nah.
Sound. It just sounds good. I'm rolling this boogie.
Like, when I say, like... when I say, all right... Like, I get the all right.
All right.
All right.
It sounds good.
But if I attempt it, like if I go, all right.
It sounds just like Matthew McConaughey.
Okay, whatever. Anyways, the second thought, though, that came from that was just a second ago off camera, we were talking about 50 Cent.
Yeah.
And 50 Cent is on my list of people I want to interview for my Inspired Conversations podcast.
Oh, I know that'd be good.
Yeah, I've had him on the list for like a year. Like, his name's at the top. Like, I want to interview him because his interviews are like the best interviews.
From what I've seen, I agree.
They're always inspirational, always. And so when we're talking about perception and like you got to start somewhere, like even the studio here, like this is a studio, but at the same time, it's also a shared space. It's not just a studio. You know what I mean? But we're using it as one.
Yeah.
And it has the appearance of it.
Yeah.
And 50 Cent, when he was first, like he was signed, he got shot, all that. And then he gets dropped from the label, and he's trying to make music.
Blacklisted.
Yeah. He's trying to make music, and this is a genius idea. What he does is he starts recording mixtape songs. And then this is before, like, Lil Wayne, all that. So mixtapes weren't done the way that people do them now. 50 Cent's the one who came up with that format.
Oh.
So, like, making your own songs to other people's beats, that was never done before. 50 Cent's the one who invented that. So, everything you know about the mixtape now was invented by him and then completely redefined by Lil Wayne. But 50 Cent's the one who came up with the new structure. So, anyways, when he's doing all these songs...
So, 21 Questions? Is that, like, one of those songs, or... Is that just okay?
But so anyways, what he ends up doing is he has these mixtapes, right? But he knows that the bootleggers in New York at the time, they were real big about like buying CDs and then selling them on the bootleg market. He knew that the bootleggers would bootleg the music if they thought that it was from a famous artist. So what he did is he hired someone to do a photo shoot for his mixtape. So got a backdrop, all of that, made it look like a professional CD cover. Put collector's edition at the top of the graphics, all of that, like made it look real pristine, like it was a real album cover. Put a fake barcode on the back of it to make it look like it was sold in stores and all that. And then took boxes of CDs to the bootleggers, and then the bootleggers sold the CDs, and that's how he like blew up. That's how he got Eminem's attention.
And is this with the help of using other songs' beats, or is this just part of the process? Like he just like.
Well, regardless if it was other people's beats or not, it's like some of them were original songs, some of them weren't. But the idea is he made it look like something it wasn't, because the bootleggers would have had no interest in an unknown artist.
That's true.
So, because he made himself look like he was signed and a major artist, and they knew he used to be signed to Columbia, so he had that going for him too.
Oh, okay.
So, because of that, they quickly were like, oh crap, like, you know what I mean? And like, just even the genius idea of putting collector's edition at the top and bottom of the CDs to make it look like it was actually like...
So...
you know what I mean?
Crazy.
Like, and a fake barcode, so it looked like it was actually being sold in stores, but the truth was, it wasn't. He pressed all those up at home and like put them in the CD cases himself, and
that's basically what it's progressed to now. I know that has like that kind of has some idea to do with social media. That's like the social media before it became online, right? Like he's just making himself look higher up. Or look more professional.
But I think it has like a positive connotation to it as opposed to the negative that's often at times associated with social media of like the
catfishing,
dark side of like faking it before you making it. Like the idea of like the online coaches and all that stupid shit where people are like going and renting a Lamborghini and acting like they've made all this money to like con you to buy their course, and the way they're actually making the money is through the course. You know what I mean?
No,
it's like
I think his approach.
I think it was just
it was a marketing.
It was smart
scheme.
It was marketing, and it was the way that like you have to look the part. Like if you want to, like I remember hearing one interview from him. He said like it doesn't really matter to me what you wear if you interview me. Like he was talking about people interviewing him. It was in one of his books, and he said like, but you need to match. So if we're doing like more of a hip hop interview and we're wearing street clothes, he was like, I remember one of the guys, it was like for a basketball or some kind of like sports related interview, and he said the guy was wearing like dirty shoes, and he was like even if you can't afford a brand new pair of Nikes, you can clean them. So the idea of like look the part. He was like,
put in effort to.
Yeah, like look the part. Make sure that you, like if you're a hip hop journalist or whatever, that's fine, but make sure you look the part. Like make sure that you're like everything is presentable. You know what I mean? So it's just like I think that was part of it too, is he was making himself look the way that he wanted to be received. He wanted people to receive him as a blockbuster star, so he made his CDs and packaging look like that before he was.
Dude, that's cool. I didn't know that, but also, 50 Cent isn't my time. His music I listen to a lot, but I don't really read many stories or anything. But the interviews on his channel are like really entertaining because 50 Cent's got some knowledge up there. It's not all candy shop. That's all I got. I don't have anything else.
Yeah.
But still, and his story, like the stories of how he survived all that crazy stuff, his come up.
It's crazy.
I mean, he was meant to be a celebrity. He was pretty much written out for him in God's script, right?
Yeah, I think, and I'm only talking about this because it went right with the perception of like the studio and everything that we're trying
that's
to like
a good example.
Give to people.
I don't have one, but that's a great
It's
example.
like this idea too, like even the title of his first album, Get Rich or Die Trying. Like when people heard that, even as up until probably 2 or 3 years ago until I changed my mindset, like I just always thought it was like the idea of like, he got shot 9 times, like kind of like the gangster like idea of it, like I nearly died to make it big. You know what I mean? That's kind of what I got from it. But in reality, it's manifestation. Like he's saying, like I'm gonna do this no matter what.
Exactly.
Like get rich or die trying. Like it had nothing to do with the fact that he had ever been shot or nothing like that.
Yeah.
It was not gangster rap. Now it worked to that end too.
Mm-hmm.
Bullet cover case because he had been shot 9 times. Like yeah, but at the same time, it really wasn't about that. 50 Cent, like it's a metaphor for change. Like it's corny and simple, but that's what it was about.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, it's just cool. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
there's people.
The more that you like discover about people, you see successfully clues.
Yeah, or
clues.
You see once you I wouldn't have known any of that stuff, like the cool, like he's actually smart type stuff, unless I saw those interviews, which I still hadn't had enough time to look that stuff up. But still, after I seeing interviews about him talking and not just hearing his music, I learned that like, okay, this dude is very knowledgeable and respectable. So his music is like our social media or the social media that we see that's just like, well, we know what this guy's like in real life because of his music. Mm-hmm. That's just not how it is.
Yeah.
His music might be drawing or just a whole nother story versus like what's in his head. Kind of like with Jay-Z too. A lot of people would say that Jay-Z is one of the smartest people when it comes to marketing, or Shaq. But Shaq doesn't have any like negative things about him. Like he's never. I mean, I think maybe he's rapped, but he's just a really wholesome
badly,
guy.
But he has rapped.
Yeah, he's just a wholesome guy. But people, the rappers who are super wholesome and smart on these podcasts that you never see because they're being outshined by their 500 million plays on Spotify with their thug rap. You know, you would just never know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I guess that all does tie into social media. Music is the social media before it went online. That is about as honest as it gets. I mean, there's other things now. There's YouTube. I mean, you could act completely different on YouTube than you do in real life.
Yeah. Well, I think too, like, I think you can fully be somebody, but I think also, like, you're only seeing one aspect of someone when you follow them on that medium. So oftentimes what interviews do, it's the same idea like when we talked about doing the podcast. You're like, yeah, I really want the people who follow me to see my personality. Because if someone just follows you off of your TikToks or they get a perception of you that might not actually be you. Like, that's part of you. We've talked about this before. Like, that's part of you. It's true. But, like, if someone gets to know you, it's not like I message you or call you and every time you answer the phone, I just hear, what's up, man? like you're just working out the whole time. You know what I mean? Like,
I was wondering, like, I thought you were going to say I was, like, lip syncing or something.
No, like just heavy breathing and, like, gym music in the background, and I'm just hearing, like, clanking and banging, and you're just like...
I was, like, had just got done with making a TikTok, like...
No. But it's like, if someone was to expect that from you, they would be disappointed when they met you in real life to be like, yeah, working out's a part of my life, but it's not all of my life.
No, it's
or the same way, if someone thinks that all you do is just make TikToks all day, they'd once again be disappointed because that's not all
that's how it
is.
Do. No, that's what it's gotten to. With family, they're always making up some TikTok joke. Like, come on, man. Like, if you see me in real life, you would probably not assume that all I do is just make TikToks. Like,
no, man. And look, you got multiple things. Candom lists. Candom games.
Candom? I mean, yeah, I've got other things that I do, but it's still like...
I didn't think you would catch it so quickly. I was going to keep saying your name.
Because
just like,
someone at work
and just butchering
it.
Like,
one of the Hispanic guys...
Comden.
He says, Candom.
Compton.
Condom. I'm just like, come on, man. Camden. Or they say Camden.
Camden Games.
Yeah.
Camden Lifts.
Yeah, it's stuff.
Camden Golfs.
You keep doing it.
No, I'm trying to.
Okay, but anyways, yeah, there's other aspects of my life, and it still doesn't make up most of it. Like,
I was kind of getting to, like, the Shawn V Speaks, like, every channel in our little... You know, it's almost like Marvel. You know how Marvel has, like, a universe? Oh. Marvel universe? We got, like, this universe.
Oh, okay.
Of all these existing things.
Yeah, that's
and
good.
it's
that's
like,
a good reference. Good reference.
Yeah, right? So then you have, like, the golf channel. It's just golfs. You have, like, the game channel.
Have that.
Games.
But I don't.
You have the channel where you do your lifts.
Like, I'm trying to get there, but I'm not big enough to do that yet. If I started now, sure, that would be awesome to just watch them grow. But I don't think a lot of people are going to want to see, like...
What would happen is we would release, like, one video on each channel, like, once a year. Because there's so many.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking of that, too.
You gotta
have
a crew. You have to have other people.
Because I have ideas now where I'm just like, bro, like,
if I had a
this.
videographer, if I had a nice studio, if I had other friends...
It's like, man, I could do what I'm doing on my other channel on every channel, but I don't have enough time.
But this, you know what this comes to?
So much.
Does it? Yeah. Does money really buy happiness, or is it like, does money buy time? You know.
Time.
Yeah, money buys.
But it can
time.
drive you up to the front door of happiness.
Yeah.
You can
like,
at least
obviously,
see if
you can be more satisfied. You can live your life.
I heard someone say that one time. I loved the way it worked.
He
was like, people say money can't buy happiness, and he said, it might not be able to buy happiness, but it can take you to happiness's front door, and you can at least see if he's home.
It's a good one. No,
but anyways, yeah, like I think it's all about time.
Money buys so much time. It's crazy.
Everything is about time, and we all have the same amount of it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, well, yeah.
Everybody has 24 hours. That's it.
Yeah.
Now you can reframe the way you look at the day.
Yeah.
Like I do a thing where I say I have 3 days, but
I do the same thing.
Do you?
Yeah.
You have 3 Mondays?
I don't have
3 Thursdays?
I don't, but I do it during the week. Because of where my work day is or where my busy day is. I have specific days where I know I'm busy and I just won't be able to do that one thing I wanted to do. Kind of like your Sundays. That's like your, okay, I'm going to go do my routine day. But yeah, I always give myself 3 days during the week to do whatever I'm working to do. And I'm going to get it done by the 3rd day. It's a lot lazier than you think. Or it's a lot lazier sounding than it is. Because, man, like, if you have a whole day, that's really only 16 hours for the average person. Because you got to try to sleep for 8. But yeah, I try to get those few things done throughout those 3 days. And then that one big thing is just a group of those little tasks, and it's usually put into one. It's like, yeah, I got that done.
Like the way I do it, it just kind of slows time down. I do everything in 6-hour blocks.
6-hour blocks.
Yeah, so it's like 5 to 11 is day 1, day 2 is 11 to 5, and then day 3 is 5 to 11, and then 11 to 5 is the 4th day, but it's like a sleep day.
Yeah, that's a similar idea as mine.
Yeah, and I do that every day. So like I'm on my 2nd Thursday today. And then here soon I'll be on my 3rd. And what it does is it allows me, since I have so much shit going on, it allows me to dedicate one day to each thing.
Yeah.
Or sometimes they overlap too. So it like just depends on which day it is. Like if it's on a Monday, then I know that I'm doing certain, like today's a Thursday, so I know that I'm filming the majority of all 3 Thursdays.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. I mean? Like, I got that same mindset. I know what I'm doing on every day of the week.
Yeah.
Unless something comes up at the last second, which it almost never does because I live in Western Kentucky.
Well, it's all about having a plan. Like, it's hard not to feel like a mistake if you wake up like one. Like, if you just wake up like you don't know what the hell you're doing.
Man, let's go back to bed.
Yeah, like then how are you not gonna feel that way?
Yeah.
Because you have no structure or routine.
At least get looking forward to breakfast. That's where it starts. And look forward to breakfast or that first shower or something. Or coffee.
A lot of people allow their work to be the thing, the catalyst. But then once again, like if that's the catalyst, then you wake up probably 15, 30, however long of a drive you have. You wake up just like a few minutes before you got to be at work. You know what I mean? So now you wake up and it's like, I got to be at work in 45 minutes, and then you're just like jump in the shower and you just drive there. Yeah. Or if you get a shower, you just drive there. You don't eat, you skip breakfast, whatever. You get to work, you get off, and then after you get off, it's just like what are you doing now? And it's just a free-for-all until you go to bed and do it all over again.
Yeah. What I always did when I had to wake up early, because I had like golf tournaments early in the morning. So I would wake up so much earlier, no matter when I had to go to bed. Like, if I went to bed late, so what? I got my 6 hours. I'm fine. I made sure I got my breakfast in. I got that whole routine of getting my water down. Because unless you're someone who's intermittent fasting, you got to have that first meal and that water. Like, if that's part of your routine when you're not working, I try to make every day the same, no matter what's going on.
Yeah.
And that just puts you in a better mindset overall.
It does.
And then after work, you're not thinking about, you're probably thinking about a meal, but at least you're like, okay, I had breakfast, that's at least a little organized, and then you can go do your extracurricular activities if you have any. I want to know what people do who don't have extracurriculars. Like people who just don't have hobbies.
Oh, I'm sure they're out there. I think a lot of people have hobbies, but I think a lot of times their hobbies are like
maybe reading,
spent with friends or something. Like I know a lot of times, in times past, like when I would get off work, I've always been the type of person to have 2 or 3 jobs though. So even before I had the mindset that I had, it was just who I was. Like I would just always find myself just doing other stuff. Like, you know what I mean?
I've tried to be that way. Now I am, but back in the day when I was a kid, it was impossible. Because I was so fed up with sports.
Yeah, I think a lot of times people, they get off work and then they go hang out with their friends, or they, or if they're married, they hang out with their spouse. And that's good, but at the same time...
You almost want to have something that makes you work your brain, or you want to get better at something.
Yeah, it's just like, I feel like...
Get into gaming. Yeah, get addicted to video games.
I guess. I never have been... Not really.
I think you would be considered one of those people who your extracurricular is just yourself, like working on yourself.
Oh, yeah.
100%. Unless it's a nice Sunday, and then it's pizza day.
But even still, that's like...
That's just a by yourself thing.
Well, I mean, but that's still like working on myself because it's allowing me to enjoy...
I know, that's exactly what I'm saying. But
it's like even when I'm doing that, it's still just
you don't fit in the category that I'm describing. The category I'm describing is the people who literally work a 12-hour shift, go home, and just sleep and get ready to do it over again, like you just said. They got nothing to work for, like nothing to look forward to. Nothing excites them except for that paycheck. Maybe seeing their friend that they see once a month, That's what I think we're getting to the point as the generations go on where less people want to work and more people want to make more money easier. Like we're just getting lazier.
Yeah.
And everybody turns to the easy way out.
There is no easy way out, though.
There's no easy way out without suffering a great loss somewhere. Like if you're taking the easy way out, you're not making it financially. Or if you're taking the easy way out with money, then you're suffering like actually having skills as an adult.
Yeah, I think like and skills. two things. Like don't get me wrong, people win the lottery. It does happen, but there will be far more people who lose it than there ever will be that win it. Right? So like more people will lose playing the lottery than they will that win it. So the idea is people do get lucky. Like there are people out there who have found like, an easy way in. Like they recorded one song and it just blew up. You know what I mean?
But you've said this a million times. Like the people who were not broke, people who weren't good with money usually lose it.
Exactly.
Fast. Now Lil Nas X, he's a hidden, like I will always bring him up because of his story. He was a hidden gem. He had the marketing skills. He had all of it and he kept it as he kept blowing up. He made that one song that was a hit everywhere, and then he started marketing more songs that were just as good, and even if they weren't as good, he marketed them so well to make them sound good. Same with Jack Harlow. They're marketing geniuses, and that's why they're maybe they weren't the best with money, or they just didn't care to make it. They were just happy being alive, and then it's marketing skills at the end of the day, in this day and age at least, because ties back to social media.
Yeah. So, yeah, but I think in their cases, they developed those skills.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they hit it big, and then they were able to capitalize on it, and that's why they remain to continue. For every person that gets in easy come, easy go. It's that simple. Mm-hmm. If it's easy to obtain, then it's easy to lose. If it was hard to get, then it will be hard to lose. And here's the idea. If you got it, through the grind and the hustle and the development of skills. If you got it through the hours, like 1 hour a day for 5 years, like if you got it that way, then you have actually built the skills to be able to do it again. Mm-hmm. So you hear people all the time too, like we talked about, if you were to take away all of 50 Cent's success, he'd bounce right back.
Yeah, he'd figure out a way to do it.
He'd be able to do it again in a year. It's the same thing with like the Mr. Beast idea where he's like, yeah, I could take a 0 channel to 1 million in 3 months. And I believe he could do it.
But he said that way back in the day. We're not talking about right now. Right now, he'd do it in a day.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, he said that last year. But regardless.
He said that last year? Dude, have you seen his videos get 1 million in 10 minutes?
Well, I know, but no, 1 million subscribers.
No, I know they get 1 million views. So like in 10 minutes. So if he just put it on his story, like, hey, go follow, you get 1 million.
Well, no. What he was talking about was...
If he's talking about anonymous, like some anonymous channel. Yeah. Okay.
Starting from zero.
Just
like
new
he could,
no promotion.
Him being him now, he could blow something up.
Like a faceless channel? Okay.
Yeah.
So
or just hypothetically, like if he was to lose everything and he had to, like, no one knew who he was. Yeah, that kind of...
That kind of, like, alternate reality mindset.
Exactly.
I got you.
Okay. The point is like, he's confident that he could build he could build atypical... Mr. Beast! Build atypical... he could build atypical...
Up to $1 million real quick.
In 3 months.
3 months. And that's about... It's about what we have left.
And all the idea is just obsession, 5 months. And...
5?
What he said it's just obsession. If that's all you did, if that's all you thought about, you could do it,
dude. And when you're
that's with anything.
And when you're only
singular
thinking about
focused.
When you're only thinking about one thing, you get good at it quick.
Mm-hmm.
Whether that is something bad or something good, obviously. But when you're thinking about multiple things, like I would say me and you, I'm thinking about my multiple things all the time, but only whenever I'm doing them. I'm never thinking about those other things when I'm doing this other thing.
And that's being part of it too. Like I feel like
in there like swimwear.
Yeah, because if here's the idea and the concept of how we even break down our days. I didn't know you broke it down that way, but
I'm in atypical mode right now.
Yes,
I'm not in golf.
I'm not thinking about anything else but this podcast and what we're doing right now. I heard someone say, like, if you're at work, be at work. If you're at play, be at play. If you're at the beach, be at the beach. If you're at the office, be at the office. Like, don't try to be somewhere that you're not, because 1, you won't enjoy the moment. 2, the moment will pass you. And then 3, you won't be as effective as you possibly could be if you were actually focused on what you're doing. It's the same way of, like, your ability to be all in a moment is critical to the success that you have in that moment. So you see, like, people like super athletes, Michael Jordan, like, being so focused in on the game allowed him to be able to react to whatever was happening. If someone's trying to do, like, he's able to just in a moment just react to it. But there's so much time that's been invested in the practicing and the development of the skills that it's like second nature to do some of that shit.
Yeah, and when he's
what I mean? Focused, not even thinking about it.
Imagine when he's really focused. I mean, he's actually I wouldn't say actually trying, but if he's really in the moment in that one game, he's better than everybody by tenfold.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's the idea. It's like, man, when you can really focus and harness your energy and you break things up into, like, different time pockets, like, all I'm going to do for this 1 hour or 6 hours or 30 minutes or whatever it is, you'd be impressed by what you could actually get done and accomplish when all you are is focusing on that. But it's hard to discipline yourself to do that kind of shit because, of course, your mind's going to want to get distracted and think about this and think about that. And that's where discipline comes in, where it's like, no, we do this now.
Yeah. Dishes take like 30 seconds. Moms tell your kids.
Huh? What'd you say?
I said dishes take like 30 seconds. Moms tell your kids.
Oh,
because you know how easy it is to get distracted while doing dishes. You're like, man, I could just not do them.
Now you got me thinking of, like, atypical topics, but, like, who piles up dishes to wash them? Who does that?
Did you stick them right in the washer immediately?
Yes. I don't have a dishwasher, but even if I did, I would hand wash everything.
Okay, well, when you have 4 to 5 people living in a household, and
everybody wash what you use immediately. If someone cooks, then you wash it immediately.
We will assume that these people are busier than others. Some have to work.
But once again, talking about time allocation right here, right? Like, what is quicker? Is it quicker to wash it while you're using it? Or is it quicker to let it pile up and take 30 minutes? I think it's quicker to wash. And I'm assuming hand washing. We're not.
Who's going to disagree with you here? Nobody. But who's going to do it? I don't know.
Me? I do it.
I know you do it. But there's different scenarios with people. There's people who have kids who are like 12 and don't really understand that, washing dishes is really easy. But also,
now, granted, if I had a child who was 12, I might let it pile up to teach a lesson. But at the same time, I'd probably just have them wash it in the moment because I wouldn't want to teach them to let it pile up.
Did you know that dishwashers like save a lot more water? I know. I'm trying to tell you this, but dishwashers save a lot more water than hand washing. So in your situation, it doesn't matter because you don't have like 15 people in your house. But whenever there's a bunch of kids in a house, it tends to pile up because the kids, for one, don't wash their stuff, and then the parents usually make the kids wash them eventually or stick them in the dishwasher. That's how it works. It's literally how it works. If the parents,
maybe it's the OCD in me, man. I can't even stand
listen to
like,
this.
You telling a hypothetical story is making me like cringe. Like,
you parents, if you wash them as soon as you did them, I bet those kids are gonna do the same thing.
Yeah, let's get there. And that's what I'm saying. Like, even if I do have a 12-year-old son, and let's say I have 8 12-year-old kids all at the same time. Like, I don't know. We had octuplets, and they're all 12. I'm bringing them all in there, and I'm saying every time you use a plate, you wash it right then.
And they're gonna do it. They're not gonna figure out a loophole around it because.
And the same thing when I'm cooking, like I got steaks on the grill out there, and I'm making mashed potatoes over here, and then I'm like making macaroni and cheese over here, and then I got something in the oven.
I know
like as soon as the mashed
this.
potatoes is done, it's in a bowl, and I'm washing the pot.
I know.
And then I'm flipping the steaks off, and when they're done, I'm washing those tongs.
A good cook cleans their station as they cook. That's literally the first rule of cooking. You're supposed to clean your station as you cook. For some reason, I don't know what. There's probably a safety hazard if you don't.
Sanitation, baby.
That's true. Yeah, if you
gotta be sand.
But yeah,
no ties.
You gotta be sand.
It didn't work. I was trying to, you know what I mean? Yeah, you gotta wipe that counter, baby.
Can't be insane.
Yeah, you gotta wipe that shit down, baby.
But yeah, as long as the parents don't blame their kids for everything, then it's easy.
All the parents have stopped listening to us at this point.
Yeah,
what do these guys know?
They heard something they didn't want to hear.
Yeah. But
right out.
I'm like that with everything, though. I just feel like if you did it in the moment, you spend less time.
Yeah, well, you spend time that you could have spent later that you didn't want to.
And then you build a habit of not letting things pile up. So, like, how I got... Not that I know everything. Obviously, I don't. I'm still learning and growing myself. But one of the things that changed with the amount of things that I can get done in a day, because that's important to me. I want to get a bunch of shit done. How I did that is just not letting things pile up. So just action immediate. Like, if it's a thought, if it's an idea, if I can act upon it right then, I'm going to do it. If I can't, like, complete the task, I'm going to at least, like, do something every day until
it's done.
You know what I mean? So it's like...
Make it easier every time you think about it.
Yeah, so it's just like, then it's just real seamless. And then you get into habits. And then when you get into habits, you get into automation. So like now, I wash the plate not because I have to think about it, just because it's nature. Like, I just do it. Like, I don't even have to give thought to it. I'm just washing it as I do it. It's just part of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't even... It's brushing teeth. And everything that becomes that habit of just brushing teeth where I don't prolong it or anything like that, then the physical habit relates to my brain, and then I start doing the same thing with, like, because we've all had those situations where we wrote something to do and we're like, oh man, I forgot to do that. It's like, but you forgot to do it because it got wrote down but never followed up on. But if it was just followed up on immediately, like 90% of the stuff we write down, stuff we could just do right then.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, don't go to school.
So, like, when someone's telling me to do something, like I used to do this the last place I worked all the time, like someone would be like, oh man, we need to do such and such. And as they're saying, we need to do such and such, if it was contacting someone, I'm contacting them as they're talking. Like, oh, we need to contact so-and-so. And I'm just like, writing the email right then, like as we're talking. Like, yeah, got it. It's already done.
It's already done.
What's next?
Tommy Fisher.
Like, bro, like that shit is... I live for that, man. Automation.
Yeah, but there's just some, like, you can't just say that. There's so many people out in the world who can't think like that to save themselves. If they had to think in the moment, they could.
Why are you so grim today, Kane?
If they had to think in the moment, it would take them a few days. If they had to think in that moment, give them a few days.
Now, don't get me wrong. There's some stuff where I'm just like, why did I do that? You know what I mean? Like, why didn't I just... do that immediately? Like, I'll find notes that I wrote down. It's like, why did you even write that down? The time it took you to write it down, you could have done it.
Maybe it was just a really good idea. Or just a really Tommy Fishing idea. You're like, man, that's too good. I could probably get that done the next day just as quick.
And that's where it's hard, too. when you're talking about being in the moment.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, like, while I'm in the moment, like, let's say I'm in the moment doing Atypical, but then that inspires me for something else.
Yeah.
And that's really hard.
Dude. Like,
that's where you do have to write it down.
Yeah, you want to do it like, I'll be in the middle of doing something and I'm just like, man, I had another idea. It's something I want to do, but I can't because I'm doing something else.
Yeah.
That's probably how every kid feels.
And then you have to balance it. You have to be like, well, what moves the needle forward more?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In the overall grand scheme of things, does the idea that I just had, one, is it connected to the biggest thing? Because we all have the biggest thing. So, like, if you have 10 plants and for whatever reason you only had, like, enough water for 8 of the plants, wouldn't you water the 8 biggest plants or at least the 8 most valuable plants?
Probably most valuable.
You know what I mean? And
or prettiest.
Yeah, you would water. Well, I'm thinking of like a garden. So like you would water the ones that would yield you the biggest crop, right?
Oh,
like the most food.
Bigger picture. Is that not what you're talking about? Bigger picture? Because you want your garden to look good.
Well, I was thinking like if you're growing a garden, you're growing it to eat.
Oh, okay.
So you would ultimately, the bigger picture would be what gives me the most food.
Yeah.
Like if I only have enough water to water 3 of these 8 plants, and out of the 3, I'm going to water the ones that are cherry tomatoes, you know, and while I'm withering away on my deathbed, I'm like, well, at least I had these cherry tomatoes. It's like, no, water the potatoes, bro.
Watch this.
Water the corn.
Watch this wrap around real quick. Watch this. I'm going to tie this all back together. So the social media in the moment perception thing, you're at this event. Whatever event it is, this is the biggest moment of your life. And you start to pull out your phone to record it. You're not in the moment anymore. You might, unless this video is going deep into some archive that you will only ever see, you are living in everybody else's moment. Like, once you post it online, you're going to forget about it in like 5 years. You know? Unless you save it. You know? But you know how people are. They get on their Instagram story. They're like, wow, I just met The Rock. But the whole time they're looking at their phone. They're like, I'm meeting The Rock right now. They put their phone down and start walking the other direction, and they never actually met him. That's exaggerated to the highest degree, but like,
no, I get what you're saying.
Being in the moment. When I met C-Bum, the first thing I did was try to get a conversation out of him, try to get some information, and really all I got was like, yeah. Not a very talkative guy. Then we got the video, which I thought was cool, but yeah, like whenever I meet new family. Or I don't know how you'd say that. Like meeting people.
Meeting new family. How often are you getting new family?
Well, yeah, I've got cousins who live over the country somewhere.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like
okay.
meeting.
I just was like, man, is this like a weekly thing? Like one day a week I meet a new family member. Like, yeah.
Well, it'll eventually get that way, but meeting people that are important to you, like pulling out your phone, like, or if you're with your grandparents, you know, like, let me get this video of my grandpa and just never look at him.
I think, you know, once again, I think it's all balanced too. Like, do I think that like taking pictures, or I think it's kind of like the intent. It's like, you know, when I go see a sunset or I go on a trip, like I take pictures, I take videos, but I don't.
But you're also out there for hours.
But yeah. I also make sure that I soak the moment in.
Yeah.
Because, I think like you said, like, if what you did with the entirety of the moment was take a picture. If
you have 30 seconds with a famous person, are you really pulling out your phone?
I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people that would love a picture, but I agree with you. Like, I would much rather love the experience of what can I learn from this person?
Seriously,
what can I understand?
If you got a minute with some celebrity, are you really gonna sit there and take your phone out instead of asking them, "Hey, what's your biggest tip?" Like, if you miss out on that question, maybe they don't give it to you, then you get the picture.
And sometimes you meet them, and their biggest tip is like we said earlier, like a one-hit wonder. Like they just, I just walked into a room and they said, "Hey, you'd be a good actor," and I said, "Okay." Yeah. All right. Well,
yeah.
Thanks.
Then you get your phone out because they were a waste of time.
Then you get the picture.
Then you post that on social media, get 1 million likes, and there's your come up.
But if the guy tells you, like, you know what, like, I got shot 9 times, and okay, well, let me learn it.
Let me listen in. I'll put the phone down.
We just completed the episode right there. We made the full callback.
That was good.
But yeah, I think you need to enjoy the moment, and you need to I don't know, but I'm also like of the mindset where I'm just it's a gift and a curse, because sometimes I'm just never satisfied. Like, you know what I mean?
Aren't we all?
Just moving the needle so much, but like in a way where, like, I feel like a lot of times, I don't know how I want to word that, but it seems like a lot of times
you're gonna want to skip forward 20 seconds here.
Yeah. I don't even know how to word it. It just seems like instead of like actually enjoying the moment, almost like you're saying, like sometimes it's like I get there and then I'm just focusing on the next thing. So I don't even enjoy the moment of being there.
But you don't want to think like that.
I know.
If you met a celebrity,
No, I'm not even talking about that. That's a specific scenario. What I'm talking about is like when you hit your goals.
Oh, you
like, let's say, like,
think about the next one.
Yeah, and it's just like, all right, you need to.
This is what you just recently did. You just recently hit a goal, and you took like some time to recollect and think about a plan.
Yeah.
But if you already had the plan, if you already had it ready, you would have been able to just seamlessly keep moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
But you were soaking in the moment. Maybe.
I don't know.
You reach that goal, and you're just like, man, this is cool. Now what do I do now?
Well, yeah. I mean, yes and no, because the answer to that is I could just keep doing what I was doing. However, because of how my mind works,
you want to
it's
benefit the most.
Yeah. So then it's like, and really, I don't know. Yeah, I just need to, as much as I like progress and moving forward, sometimes you need to like rest in the wind a little bit.
Oh yeah, dude, soaking in that wind.
Because I don't even like, even with the example you're talking about, that is not what I was doing at all. Like when I stopped and was like, I wasn't soaking up the wind. I should have, but I wasn't.
You were probably stressed and like, how can I?
Yeah. How can I make this number like 3 times as much next
Exactly.
week? You know what I mean?
You wish you knew what we were talking about. You're gonna figure out October 31st.
Yeah, bruh. Yeah, that's it. October 31st. 5 months, man. That's why I said that earlier.
Yeah, I had to count.
6, or what'd you say? You said 3. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Nah, baby.
I was rushing myself. I was like, man, we only got 3 months. But no, open my eyes.
We got longer. All right. Well, I think that's a pod, baby.
That's a podcast.
I think it is.
It's one of the podcasts.
Well, I'm Shawn.
And I'm Cam.
And this is Atypical
Podcast.
We'll check you next time.
See ya.